and do something wonderful. And thank you very much for having me for this 2-day event. So I appreciate it. Thank you. So before we go on to graduations, I was just going to kind of give you an overview of a session that's coming up so that you're aware. I will be here in December, so December 18th to 22nd. I may be coming earlier for some other engagements, but this is set in stone. So I'll be here in Mumbai, December 18th to 22nd. And just so you know what the Cpscm is, it's Certified Purchasing and Supply Chain Management, Supply Chain Manager Certification. And that's my, really for what I offer, that's my platinum, kind of gold standard, diamond offering, because it captures the end-to-end things that I think are important. Somebody asked me during the break, you know, how does this Cpscm differ from what the ISM has with the Cpsm, and then what what CIPS offers? They offer, both those organizations, they offer similar certifications. They're very, very good certifications, but they're also very different. What those focus on is offering an end-to-end, A to Z understanding of procurement and supply chain management, what the current strategies are, what the different types of definitions are, and how things are done, what the different logistical methods, and all of those. It forms a foundation for somebody who wants to understand the A to Z of procurement. And what the Cpscm offers is quite different. And it, for me, kind of offers the next level, which is, I look at, and you remember I have an advisory board that was some of the biggest names in procurement across the world. And in collaboration with them, I really defined what are the key things that make the biggest difference in taking our organizations from being overhead centers to being viewed and being value-added centers of profit. That's always my objective. I want this function to be viewed, I want it to be, and to be perceived as a value-added center of profit. And it really came down to 5 or 6 things. The A to Z is extremely important as a foundation to have, but after you have that, there's about 5 or 6 things only that make a gigantic difference. And those things are the investigative negotiations we talked about, being able to do total cost analysis, should cost models, must cost models, total cost models, driving design for TCO. My research and consulting practice, which is where I spend most of my time, has shown that on average, when the end user gives you the scope of work or spec, if you take that and go with it, you've lost on average 18% cost savings. 18%. That's before negotiations. And the reason is because the end user is generally not trained in, they know how to make sure they achieve the form and functionality, but they don't know, did I design this for TCO? Did it involve custom parts? Did I, innovate something instead of using a proven solution? Did I use standardized components? All these kinds of things. That aspect of before it ever got handed off to you has an 18% on average opportunity. And so in this piece, I show how to influence the 18% before you go to negotiations and get more savings. That's the biggest savings opportunity you have today that people really aren't talking about. Then I get into contract law, and I think I mentioned I've written a book on this topic as well, and how to stop writing agreements for goods and services and how to start writing agreements for performance results with predefined remedies for performance excursions. And it's this particular model that gets you out of spending 60 to 70% of your day in unplanned activities. It's contracts that are written for goods and services I consistently see cause problems because we talked about freezing contracts. If it's frozen for goods and services, then it causes problems because your end user wanted performance results, but didn't get them, but the contract didn't specify performance results, so you have nothing to point to, and you end up doing lots of firefighting. My goal is not to make you good firefighters. My goal is to make you prevent fires, and you should have a minimum of 4 hours every day free in your schedule. And people don't believe me, but it's very possible when you architect the front end of the process right. And then the next one is how to buy performance results, which is how to re-architect from the scope of work and spec all the way through how it needs to be done differently, and open your funnel on the front end, remember, to buy performance results instead of goods and services. And then I get into advanced supplier management strategies where all of these are very transformational. The only one that's really consistent with what's taught out there is the total cost analysis, in which I'm very well aligned with the industry. But with advanced supplier management, currently our profession is telling us that supplier management starts after the contract is signed. And I have learned through my practice that that's the kiss of death, because after the contract is signed, they have your money, and the contract wasn't written for performance results. And so I've actually found that that process starts far earlier, and I show how to do that.